All right, so welcome to C++ programming. My name is Jeff. I'm your instructor for this course, CIS 61 at Shasta College. And I was looking at the roster right before starting this video, and I noticed quite a few of you from other classes. So whether it's I don't know, a Python class or Java or Visual Basic or an app development class, in person or online, either way. And so, welcome back for those of you. I guess you are ready for more torture. I don't know, but hopefully, you'll enjoy the course. Those of you new, hopefully you enjoy the course as well. So, welcome to everybody. I just want to make this video just very quickly to go over a few things for the course and kind of point in the right direction. And for those of you that are new, talk about kind of what to expect for this course. So, I pulled up well, you don't see the welcome video because it's not on here yet. I'm recording it. But anyway, we've got the syllabus right here. It's just a Word document, and you can look through it on your own. I just want to point out a couple things. The most important thing is how to get a hold of me. So you can see an office phone number here. If you call that number and I do not answer the phone, you can leave a message. But the only time that I check my messages, it's when I'm in my office. So if you call and I do not answer the phone, then immediately send me a message. Probably the best way is to use the inbox through Canvas. If you want to send me a direct email message too, you can use the jhendrickson@shastacollege.edu email address, and that's fine too. But I probably kind of prefer through Canvas just because it seems to track the messages for us a little bit better. So anyway, when you are sending me a message, also while we're talking about it, please include a page number, kind of where you're at in the book, a problem number, what you're working on. Try and be specific about the problems that you're having or the questions that you have, because I do have several courses, and so it helps to have a little bit of direction as to where I'm supposed to be looking when it comes to helping you out. All right. So, anyways, we have that. I am in my office. It's in 1310A. It's an old division office. It's kind of cool. If you haven't been in there, it's nice because it was a division office, so it's bigger than normal. So we have several offices in there. So Zab's in one, Tom Martin's in one, and then we have kind of a little open conference area, which we've got a few, I don't know, old computers around, and a good, I don't know, nice little spot to throw your laptops on this little conference table and work on stuff. So, bring your laptop, come by and see me. I like to do early office hours because I find that students have less conflicts that way. So you'll see I'm in there from 7 to 9:30 in the morning on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then I have class after that. But I like to do early. So we don't have any 7 o'clock classes on campus. I guess unless you're in fire tech or one of those programs where they're doing their workouts and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, we have no 7 o'clock classes and actually very few 8 o'clock classes on campus. So I find this is a good time to have students be able to come early before their classes start and ask questions or whatever. So anyway, we have that on there. We do have an advisory for this course that you have taken the Python class, CIS2. If you have not taken another language class and this is your first language class, I think you'll be okay. We'll see how you do, but you've got a little bit of time before the drop date, so we'll see how you do. So I like to think that you could jump into this class and not have any previous coding and be okay. So I don't think C++ is that hard of a language to learn. So at least the opening stuff. I mean, it can obviously get very complex, but for what we're doing in this course, it's not too bad. So anyway, so we'll see. So let me know if you have questions as you're going along about how you're doing, or those kinds of things. I try and make comments on your assignments back, so you'll notice that in Canvas there's a comment section for each one of the things if you've not paid attention to the grade book in there before or noticed it. So I try and put things in there, and if there's I don't know if there's an issue or whatever, then I try and be very detailed about it and give you kind of a solution. And sometimes I'll include a link as to hey, check this out, and you can see what to do. So anyway, let's talk about the book. All right, so we use, and this is the last part we'll talk about with the syllabus. The rest of the stuff you could read. It's not that big a deal. But we have the textbook that we use for this class. If you've taken one of my classes before, it's the same author. You'll find that we follow sort of the same schedule, do a lot of the same problems, or at least similar problems. It's just obviously a different language. I like doing it that way. I think it's great for you to be able to compare things from another language, and so I find that works well. So we will use this textbook from Tony Gaddis, and you can see the ISBN number here. This ISBN is for a new, you know, paperback, bound copy of the textbook that comes with the access code for where is it here? Plus, see where it says plus my lab programming with Pearson, and it also has an e-text version with it as well. But we will definitely need the My Programming Lab. So if you're buying a used copy of this book, and then you'll have to buy the My Programming Lab Access, which is a card that you can buy, and there are instructions in here. We'll go over that in a second. And that runs, I believe, right at $50 for that. So if you want to buy a used checkbook, you can do that. You could also buy the digital version of this book, so an e-text and My Programming Lab Access, and it runs, I think it's $96.95. At least last semester was $96.95, and that included an e-text and your $50 access to My Programming Lab. The My Programming Lab part we will use. You'll see some videos in here about how to buy the book, and then here's the My Programming Lab, how it works, and kind of goes through it. It's a great tool, especially for new coders. So if you are just learning coding, you've never used C++ before, or you never coded at all, it's a great tool. So I really like it, and I get good feedback from students about it helping them. So I was just looking at my gradebook from last semester, and it ended up being, you can figure the My Programming Lab piece will account for between 19 and 20% roughly of your final grade. So on the other portion of your grade, we do a couple little tiny quizzes at the beginning in chapter 1, but for the most part, it's all programming assignments. So I don't like tests, other than the couple little quizzes that go in chapter 1, and you'll see those are open book and open note, and they're not really that big a deal. But I would rather have you coding than taking some type of test. I don't know if it's multiple choice or whatever. I think that kind of stuff is stupid in coding. So I'd rather see you actually doing the coding. So anyway, so that's kind of what to expect as far as grading. So roughly about 80% of your final grade in the course will be programming. So actual code that you're writing, which is kind of cool, I think. So anyway, so that's that. So that's the end of the syllabus. Just really quickly, I want to show you this little digital book purchase file. This is another Word document. So let me dump this baby out of here. We'll switch over to this one. And you can see in this, and this just kind of walks you through, and then there's a video that does the same thing, so you might want to check that video out as well. But this just walks you through step by step. Go to myprogramminglab.com, follow this, click on student, click on in the US, and it walks through it. When it asks this question, and in the video you see too, but I'll just real quickly, I'll say this, when it says, do you have an access code? That is not an access code that you get like when you buy a new textbook. On the inside cover, typically there's a scratch off code. That code that's on the inside cover of the textbook has a link that gives you access to links to videos and other things that honestly you don't need, because I post all that stuff and the links to them in Canvas. So you really won't use anything on that from that particular code. So if you bought a used textbook and it's already got that scratched off, somebody already used it, no big deal. That doesn't matter. What this is talking about is, have you purchased an access code for My Programming Lab? So unless you bought a new textbook that has a card inside that says like My Programming Lab on it, that you tear open and it has a code in there, you have to click no here, and then you buy access, and it goes through and you find the book, and then you say, hey, do you want to have an e-text version? And if you click that, then it goes through and gives you the option there, and you create an account and go through that way. So if you're the type of person that you want to have, sorry, I'm scrolling all the way back up. You want to have a book, and you're like, I have to have a paper book. I want to have this. Then great, buy one. The bookstore has them in stock typically, and they stock the ones that come with new books with the My Programming Lab access. So you just want to make sure you have that. If you, like I said, if you buy a used book, I would spend less than $50 on it, or if you rent, try and get it for less than $50, because you're going to have $50 that you can buy to buy the My Programming Lab access, and to add the digital copy of the textbook is only another $47 roughly. So don't spend a whole lot on a used textbook unless you really want a book. So anyway, so there's that. Let's see, anything else for this little opening thing? This little piece right here where it says My Programming Lab course ID, that you will need at the end. So once you've purchased the license, you've gone through here, you've created an account with my programming lab, then it'll say, hey, did your instructor provide you with the course ID? And this is the ID that you will enter. So this is not the access code that you see from, anything like here, where if you click yes, no, that will not get you anything. And if you click yes and you enter the scratch off code from the front cover of the textbook, that's not going to get you anything either. So you'll just get errors. So anyway, and this is just a link to my programming lab. And then you'll see, just really quickly, changing YouTube quality settings. I put a video there just in case you're not familiar with YouTube videos. You want to click on the, check that out, and click on the gear icon and select 1080p for the video, so you get the highest quality video. All these videos are recorded that you'll see in the course are recorded at 1080p. At least mine. Some of the textbook, the author videos are only 720, but they're fine. So anyway, so there's that. You'll also see a link to two different cloud-based IDLEs. So we're going to use Python Tutor and REPL or Repel. I'm still not sure how to say it. So REPL.it or Repel.it. This allows cloud storage, which is really nice and is more fully functional for what we're going to do, but we're going to start with Python Tutor. And I know this isn't a Python class. This is something that was developed for Python, but we are using it for C++ too. It lets you go through, if you have not used it before, if you've taken one of my classes, you use this a ton. If you have not, this lets you go through and using an arrow, go through and go step by step through the code, and it will show you exactly what the compiler is seeing behind the scenes, and it helps you identify how the code is working and what the computer is seeing. And when you come up, if you have an error or something missing or whatever, it makes it very easy to track and see, this is what I could do, because the computer's not understanding what I mean here. So it's a great thing. When I say, you can say best programming tool ever, that's understated. So we love Python Tutor. So anyway, so there's that. And there's some limitations with C++, but for what we're doing at the beginning of this semester, it works perfectly. So I highly recommend using this. And even later on, when you're using Repel, and so you can store things and save them and all that. And this is a great site too. Making sure to fork. You'll see what that means when you get to it. But for now, use Python Tutor. And you'll see even later on, you'll go back and you'll copy code from here and go into here just to check stuff if you have any issues. So anyway, there's that. Typically what you'll see, let me just open this chapter 1 thing real quick. You'll see there's a little video here that will walk you through kind of what to expect for the week. These are the things that are going on. This chapter is really not coding. You'll see when you get in there, here are the 2 little quizzes. Like I said, open book, no time on it or anything. It's for you to play with. And if you blow it, it has an option to just, take it again. It'll keep your high score. So not a big deal. Tony Gaddis is our author. These are some videos that he provided for chapter 1, and then you'll see the assignments for the week other than taking the quizzes, and these are all due February 3rd, so it's next week. And then you've got to complete this little My Programming Lab. It's really to get you kind of started on using it. But just a typical week, you'll see. Let me leave this view, and we'll scroll down to chapter 2. So just to give you a few examples of this. So here's chapter 2. I have created quite a few videos for chapter 2. What I found is that the students typically need a little bit of help getting started, and then after that they're okay. So I went kind of overboard on perhaps some instructional videos for chapter 2, both the first part that you'll see at the for 1 week, and then we do another week after that. But I went kind of section by section and went through most of everything in there, and then I also included videos from the author too that you'll see along the way. So this is a lot. The content's a lot for this, but what I found is that if I do that at the beginning, it helps students get a foothold on the language and kind of understand how things are working. And then after that, you won't see as many. It won't be this much. And most of this video is long that I'm recording now. I'm sorry. I guess we're going to probably be about 15 minutes. But typically these are a little shorter. I try and keep them like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes if I can. Some are less, a few maybe a little bit more. But as you're looking at these videos and walking through them, just remember we're not going to do that every single time. Like I said, typically after chapter 2, I find that students have a foothold and they're able to roll with just a few videos on certain things that I think you might need help with. The videos from the author, and then of course the textbook. Our textbook is a very good book for for a coding textbook. It's a very, very, very good book. So I think you guys will like it. I think that's about it for now. Kind of just scrolling around, messing around, and I guess we're almost 15 minutes. So this is a long one. I'm sorry. Like I said, I try and keep them a little bit shorter, but I wanted to give you kind of a little like, hey, this is what you can expect. So if you have questions, please let me know.